Hello everyone and welcome to this week's personal chart and official chart update. Today we will be having a little look at the official charts and seeing what could be number one this week, and obviously we will have a little look at the personal chart. We will be revealing this week's update, and it will be actually posted in the Discord and the Facebook group tomorrow, but as a little new thing that we're trialing, we will actually reveal Monday's update, this one, in today's video. And we will also have a little look at the streaming data since Friday so far, and we'll have a little look at the point totals updated up to Friday. So yeah, today we will be having a little look at so let's start off with the personal charts. Sorry, the official chart. So last week we had we did think that Calling My Phone might go to number one, but because Driver's License sort of picked up later in the week, it sort of went back to number one on Spotify, and it didn't really go back to number one on Apple Music, but it was always, it really looked like just she might get it. But by about Tuesday or Wednesday last week, she started to go ahead, thankfully, in my opinion. Yeah, so Driver's License is now number one again for a 6th week. That is the first 6-week number one since Positions. If she gets a 7th week at number one, it will be the first since Blinding Lights back about a year ago. So yeah, I think it's looking like she might though, to be honest. Let's have a look at last week's chart then. We can actually see that if we have a little look at the update as well though, from last week. It's not the update. That's this week's update. What are you doing? There we go. If we have a little look at last week's update, we can actually see that Calling My Phone was initially looking like it was going to go to number one, but obviously it kind of like dropped through the week. And then Wellerman stayed at 3. Love Story was predicted to go to 5, but it kind of dropped through the week as well. So yeah. But the actual chart ended up being Calling My Phone. And then at number 2, Wellerman staying at 3 as usual. Goosebumps climbed a little bit. Friday climbed a little bit. The Business also climbed a little bit. Love Story actually entered at 12. Let's be honest, that's pretty good. I'm looking forward to the actual album as well. I'm sure it'll be quite a high chance it'll be a album takeover. I don't think we're actually going to get much in the way of album takeovers this year. I think we only might get 1 or 2. Last year we had 3 in total, but it's looking like we only get 1 or 2 this year, unfortunately. But or maybe not. Maybe it's a good thing. Commitment Issues by Central C is at 23. We're Good by Dua Lipa at 25. Your Love by Topic is 21 as well. It climbed a little bit. Yeah. Siberia cancelled. Tom Grennan still not reached the top 40 yet, but he may do it this week. When we look at the update, Rita Ora entered at 53. Yeah, loads of others. The actual let's scroll to the top. The actual update for this week then that was revealed about around the time of recording, probably around 3 hours ago, probably time it goes up about 5 hours ago. So we can see here that Driver's License is actually predicted to go to number one compared to what it was last week. So it's looking like it probably will. But Wellerman, I've got a little source that says it's about 2,300 sales or 2,300 combined sales behind Driver's License, which is the closest it's been since Driver's License released. So if it's going to do it, it probably could be next week actually. Wellerman could climb to number one unless like the new Drake single that I'm dreading to hear goes to number one next week. Friday also looks to be climbing a little bit. Business actually looks to be climbing into the top 5 as well, which could be quite interesting. That would be Tiesto's. Would that be Tiesto's first top 5? He's had 4 UK top 10s, but has he ever had a top 5 single? Jackie Chan in 2018, Wasted in 2014, Red Lights just about made it, but not quite. And The Business obviously is at 6 as well. So he's only had 1 or 2 top 5 hits. There we go. I believe that's it. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of change this week. Let's Go Home Together absolutely so happy that that's in at 21 as well. Will it hold on though? We're going to look at a little bit of data in a minute to see if we think it's going to hold on. My Head and My Heart looks to be climbing a little bit as well. It's picking up on Spotify quite good now. Now, JLS Time, I actually listened to this on Friday and I thought, this doesn't sound like JLS. It's a massive like rap single, like from some random hoax person. It's like, yeah, this is not JLS. It does not even sound anywhere near JLS. Okay, it's about 6 years later since they split up, but it still doesn't sound like JLS. And it isn't, by the way. They literally confirmed it on Twitter that it isn't JLS. They'll actually let us know when it's coming, new music. But this actually looks really strange because it's not actually JLS. I wonder if they've actually credited it as JLS. They have as well. Wow. Look at that chart history though. So little singles, but so many number ones. Like, look at every single they released, almost was number one. That's madness. That's 5 number ones in like the space of like, what, 3 years? It's fantastic. Test Drive at Ariana with her new Positions Deluxe album. I'm going to expect that to drop, I think, this week. It seems to... We'll have a little look at data in a minute to see how it's doing, but yeah. Love Not War seems to be entering back in again. Little Bit of Love is entering into the top 40 for the first time. If you remember last week's update, it was predicted to go in at 43, and it actually entered in at 45, as we saw here. So if that was to drop 2 or 3 places, it's still in the top 40, right? So hopefully that'll enter in. Regardless is set to climb back in the top 40. Arcade seems probably will climb, but it could get close to the top 30 as well, because it was for 44 in last week's update, but it ended up at 33. So yeah. And then you got loads of other ones just below it. Toxic by Digga D. Love Story dropped to 42. Whoa, oh dear. And then Worst Behavior, Ariana again. Yeah, loads of other songs below. Hi, I'm Gasoline as well, 71. Yeah. Where is UK Hun this week? Actually, I'm actually interested to see where that is. 64. Wow, I didn't expect it to drop that fast. Okay, if we have a look at little, let's start off at the 18th. Then I believe was Friday's date. No, sorry, the 19th. Okay, so you can see that Driver's License is at 414,000 streams. Like, don't pay attention to how close each of them are. Just pay attention to how many streams the Driver's License had. JLS Time as well. What the heck? So it goes from 414 to 394 to yesterday's data 367. So it is dropping. So that's why I was saying that next week Wellerman could climb up, because if you combine that one from Wellerman, 171,000, with this one from Wellerman, that's 46,000. So that brings it up to what? Maths, please. Around 221,000 ish. Between 215 and 220,000. So yeah, you're probably looking at around here. Probably number 4. Drop Tiesto to 5. Yeah, you could be looking at that in number 1 next week. Yeah, other notable ones are Savage Tears still there, but it looks to be entering in climbing to 11, I believe. Yep, so that could be top 10 this week as well. Because remember in the update it was 15 last week and it entered in at, well, it actually climbed to 13. So yeah, it probably will be top 10 this week, I guess. But we'll need to wait and see. Let's have a look at the top 100 on Apple Music then. Call My Phone's still number 1 on Apple Music. Driver's License obviously at number 2. Your Love at number 5. Where's Your Love? Oh, 29. It was on the right bit. Navos seems to be a massive climber as well. On the update, he or she is climbing. I don't know who it is. I think it's a she. To 36. Okay, that's good. Better than the rap crap we've got. My Head and My Heart at 18. See, on Spotify, it's not doing as well, but it's doing still slowly. It dropped today, but it's still 78. Yeah, and then Wellerman 28. Little Bit of Love 25. See, Little Bit of Love is nowhere to be seen on Spotify at the minute. Nowhere to be seen. but it's 25 on Apple Music. I think that's what boosting it a little bit. And then you've got stuff like Let's Go Home Together, which is 35. Wow. The same on Spotify. It's nowhere to be seen either. Let's have a look at Quarb then. This is iTunes basically. You can see that Ella Henderson and Tom Grennan is about double ahead, so like 2 times the sales ahead. This is basically 53% off that. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. Yeah, and A Little Bit of Love as well is climbing, slowly climbing on sales. So that will kind of help it a tiny bit to stay stable around 35. No idea what Littlest Chicken Hay is, to be honest. Okay, so that's us done for the official charts portion of this video, but we're going to move on to personal chart time. First of all, I'd like to show you something that happened yesterday. The Weeknd had passed 100 streams that is the first single that has passed 100 streams this year. Last year we had 12 or 13. Was it 12 or 13? It was 13, I believe, right? 13 that had 100 or more streams, 2 of which had 200 or more streams, which is a little bit lower than average from 2017, 18, 19. We had something like 17, 2017, and I can't remember 2018, maybe 17 as well, and then 2019 we had a bit more, like 18 or 19. I can't remember exactly, but yeah. I did say in the announcement that A Little Bit of Love looks to be climbing, going close to that as well, like the next one to do it. Like Kid Laroi is not getting the streams at the minute, so maybe he'll just slowly, like maybe like a stream every day will sort of like pin him upwards. But then A Little Bit of Love's getting around something like 5 streams a day at the minute, so 4 or 5 streams a day at the minute, so possibly next week it could do it. Yeah. So let's have a look quickly at last week's chart then. This is how last week's actual chart panned out. I did say that Taylor Swift Love Story was looking like it was going to be number 1, and it did. It re-entered in at number 1. We just combine it all into one version. We don't do like the whole Taylor's version thing. We just do like it all in one version because it kind of like it works better that way. It doesn't. There's no point like just doing like 2 separate ones unless it absolutely needs to be. But yeah, obviously another shock. My Head and My Heart also climbed up to number 2 as well. That is if Ava Max gets to number 1, that'll be our. What will it be our? Oh God, Sweet But Psycho was number 1. Kings and Queens was number 1, and Christmas Without You was number 1. That's 3, so this will be our 4th, I believe. I might have missed one. So Am I didn't get to number 1. I don't think. No. Blood, Sweat and Tears didn't. Yeah. We're Good entered in at number 3. Cover Me in Sunshine at number 6. Tom Grennan, A Little Bit of Love stayed at number dropped a little bit, but that's not anything to worry about. Dua Lipa's album made an impact. Rita Ora entered in at 11. Arcade at number 17. Yeah. So yeah, you can actually watch the sequence here as well. I actually created a sequence this week because it's actually a very interesting week. The next one we'll do, I don't know, it might be before Easter, but it'll probably be the top 40 Easter chart. We might do one before it if there's interest, like an interesting chart like this one. But who knows? We'll see. Okay, it is time for Monday's update. Oh dear, I just kind of like gave a spoiler, but yeah, this is Monday's update. Reveal. And who will be number 1 this week? Well, who is looking likely to be number 1 this week? Ta-da! Now, there is a new entry at the top again. Well, technically not again, but there was a re-entry last week. But let's count it as a new entry. That's 2 weeks in a row we've had a new entry. 3. What other people say was number 1 as well. Then before that was Save Your Tears, right? So yeah, Let's Go Home Together is looking like it will be number 1. Doing quite well on the streams as well. So we'll have a little look at streaming data in a minute. Love Story drops to 2. But let's say that is quite amazing that managed 13 years after it released to get to number 1. That's pretty good. That'll be our 14th week as well. I believe it's either this week or next week she'll get a milestone for that. I can't remember if it's this week or next week, if she stays in top 5. Tom Grennan looks to be climbing a little bit. That might push up to 2, and then Love Story drop to 3. My Head and My Heart dropped to 4, but you never know what could happen on the chart, because last week it looked like it was going to be 6, but it actually climbed to 2. So Your Love by ATB, Topic A7S, that's climbed quite a bit. It's the highest climber this week, up to number 5. Save Your Tears climbed a little bit again. We're Good drops. What other people say drops. Now I'll hide my head in shame with this one. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure, alright. It's a guilty pleasure. It's like What the Fox Says and Gangnam Style and Dance Monkey. It's that sort of guilty pleasure song. So yeah, that's looking like it'll be top 10. It might not be though. Who knows? But yeah, that's looking like it will be top 10 this week. Friday looks to be climbing back into the top 10. Yeah, just other songs that are sort of like slipping or just climbing slightly. Weatherman looks to be re-entering back in at 14. Come Me in Sunshine dropped quite a bit. You don't see this very often for a Pink single though, like dropping like almost 10 places after like a week in the chart. You don't see that very often, apart from as like an album single. Like, this is an actual official release. It just shows that this single isn't like, don't know, it isn't like really hitting it as much as like some of the previous ones. Regardless dropping a little bit as well. Incredible, obviously performed the Saturday Night Takeaway. It's the time of year where Saturday Night Takeaway starts to make a sort of an impact, start to see songs entering in. I can't remember last year, there was very many though. Banner staying in. Aston Marigold, who was revealed in The Masked Singer, looks to be entering in at 19. That'll be his first solo single, I believe. There might have been one in like 2016 or something, but it looks to be his first solo top 20 time single. Well, it doesn't matter if it's timed or not. He didn't have one before 2011 anyway. And then Tiesto's The Business at number 20. Re-entering in. Let's have a look at the number ones of the year so far. So we've had a total of 6 individual number ones so far. It's looking like it might be 7 though. We'll find out on Friday. So like first 2 months of the year, we've had 7 individual number ones. That's pretty good. It's quite a lot of number ones. Yeah, so this is obviously this is actually very rare for a single to have two, like an artist to have 2 number ones within 2 months of each other. Like, it's very rare. Like, I think Pink did it, Ed Sheeran did it in 2017. Amy Winehouse did it in 2011. I can't remember who else though. Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah. Next, we have the all streaming number ones. So, like, which single was streaming? It's very similar to the official, like, actual number one of the personal chart. If you look at this, apart from the first week and maybe the Save Your Tears, which was actually Olivia Rodrigo that 1 week. Yeah, but you can see here on that 1 week it was 14 streams, and I think Olivia had something like 12, so it wasn't like a massive difference. And then this week we had 25 in total, which gave it a 55% estimate. It's a little bit lower than I expected, but it's certainly not the highest effect this year. 75 on the 15th of January was the biggest effect so far. Yeah. Let's have a look at the streaming data then for this week and see if possibly it could be the highest streams for a chart week yet. Okay. So you can see here that there is only a few singles that I've got above 5 streams this week so far. Mainly certain singles really. Yeah, so the new entry from Ella Henderson, Tom Grennan, Let's Go Home Together, has 8 more streams than Taylor Swift's Love Story, and then Little Bit of Love has 7 streams, just a little bit below it actually. So yeah, Tom Grennan having a good week this week it seems. And he looks set to have his 2 chart singles in one. Not having a single chart single for his entire career, and then in 1 week he managed to get two individual top 40s. Kind of similar to what happened to Lewis Capaldi, I think, as well. Let's have a look at the 2021 point totals. That'll be the final thing we have a look today at. We can see here that the Weeknd is still in the lead, but you can sort of see here it's not that much of a lead, like less than 100 pretty much from the Kid Laroi, but you can sort of expect the Saviour Tears to stay above Kid Laroi for the next month or so at least anyway. And then Driver's License, and then Little Bit of Love. That's sort of like the one that was sort of like sitting in the sidelines for, I don't know, like a month, and sort of just started to take off again. It took off all right at the start of the year, but it sort of like dropped to the end of January, and it sort of picked up again mid-February. So you can probably expect that to go above 1,000. We've got 2 singles above 1,000. Probably get another one, Little Bit of Love, above 1,000 in about 2 weeks' time. So yeah, look out for that. And then you got Regardless, which is quite a shocking one to be in the top 5. I expected that maybe just clinch, just getting into the top 10, but quite surprised at that. Other ones, My Head and My Heart as well. That's another one that could climb up above 1,000 in the coming weeks as well. Other ones, Love Story might climb above 1,000. It probably will, but we'll need to wait and see as well. Obviously, like things like the streaming data does boost it a little bit as well. Like, look at that Tom Grennan. If he gets like, I don't know, let's say another 30 this week, a 30 next week, and then the 30 the after week, that's 90 on top of that. That brings it to 848. Then just a week's chart points could do it easily. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to really show. This Friday we will have the 2019, and it will end the Time #1 series as well. For now, obviously we won't have another one of those until like the first week of 2022, pretty much. And also, there's something quite big coming in the summer as well. We will take a like take a break from like the Time #1 series, like the any #1, like any sequence, video sequence will take a break, apart from if there's like a big weekly chart thing to show. Then yeah, so yeah, look out around, I don't know, maybe it's a long time away, but around like June, July time, there might be like a trailer for something big coming in the summer. There's plans for it already. I'm actually starting to create the video sequences for that already, weirdly enough. That's how like big it's probably going to be. And it looks like we'll be out of lockdown around that time as well, June the 21st. Hooray! So yeah, anyway, well, that's for England, but yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it. So we will see you back here next Monday for the next update, hopefully, if I continue this going. So yeah, bye.